Okay, so we are now in number 7. This is type 1 of the MT4 assessment 2, basic algebra and algebraic manipulation. Okay, so let's start with letter A. So this set of questions is all about factorizing or factoring. Okay, so the first one given was 10x minus 40y. So some notes: when you factor, you have to find the highest common factor for each term. And that means you have to deal with the numbers, and then you also have to deal with the variables or the letters. So two things that you have to note. Okay. So in this case, for the numbers you have 10 and 40. The highest common factor for 10 and 40 is 10. That's the highest number that can divide both 10 and 40. So we will be factoring out the 10. Now for the letters, we can only factor out letters that are the same for all the terms. Now even if we have x on the first term, we don't have x on the second term. So x is not a common factor. Now y has the second term has a y, but the first term has no y, so y is not a common factor. Hence, you cannot factor out the y. So it is 10 as the only highest common factor for this expression. So the factored form of 10x minus 40y is basically the 10, which was factored out. And then x minus 4y comes from, or these two came from, 10x divided by 10, that's x, 40y divided by 10, that's 4y. Okay? And you could also reverse check. If you multiply 10 to x, you get 10x. If you multiply 10 to minus 4y, you get minus 40y. That will tell you if you have factored the expression correctly. Okay? But again, the key idea comes from the highest common factor, and you have to check the numbers and you have to check the variables. Okay, if we go to letter B, so letter B is about 12xy minus 18xz. So using the idea we learned from number 1, we have to look for the highest common factor of the numbers and any common letter or variable for the variables. So for 12 and 8, the highest common factor, the highest divisor of 12 and 18 is 6. So we have the 6. Now in the case of the variables, we see an x on the first term, and we see also an x in the second term, so x is a common factor. Now y is present in the first term, but y is not present in the second term. Z is present in the second term, but it's not present in the first term. So y nor x, so neither y nor x, z rather, is a common factor. So we only have 6x as a common factor, and to get the remaining expression, we divide. So 12xy divided by 6x, 12 by 6, so this 12 by 6 is 2. And then the x and x, that will cancel, and then you have the y. Then 18, so that's minus 18 divided by 6, so that's minus 3. Then x, that's x by x is 1. Then you have the z remaining, so that's minus 3z. So the factored form of 12xy minus 18xz is, the common factor is 6x, then the remaining factor 2y minus 3z. Okay, finally we have letter C. In letter C we have 9ax plus 15ay minus 18az. So again, we look for any common factor. 9, 15, 18, all divisible by 3. And that's the highest for these three numbers, so that's a 3. Then for the variables, the common letter, the common variable is a, so you can factor that out. So if you will be factoring out 3a, that means dividing it by 3a. 9ax becomes 3x, so that's 9 divided by 3, that's 3. 8 is cancelled, and then you have the x. Then for the second term, 15 divided by 3 is 5. Then a and a will cancel, and then you have the y remaining. And for minus 18az, 18 by 3, that's minus 6. And then a will cancel, and then z will have, or will be with the 6. So the factored form of 9ax plus 15ay minus 18az is 3a times 3x plus 5y minus 6z. So note, always place parentheses for the remaining terms after you factored out the highest common factor. Okay, so these are just the examples for type 1. Of course, there will be more complicated expressions to factor for type 2 and even more complex for type 3. But again, the main idea is to identify the highest common factor, that is for the numbers and also for the variables. Okay, so that's it.